Alright, welcome to another special Comic Station, and this is our Halloween special recommended reading edition. As we like to do every once in a while, we do a little special edition, and this one is for Halloween themed. Obviously, we also have a new statue. This is the Sandman, bookends, so pretty. So of course we wanted to showcase them a little bit.
Very nice and very expensive.
Yeah.
Very nice
limited.
and very expensive and very limited.
Drooling, but not on it, just drooling.
No,
Away from
around
it.
it. Keep it safe.
Away from it.
Keep the precious safe.
Well, first one we have is Walking Dead. Modern realistic zombie apocalypse where no one is safe and people can be scarier than monsters. You know the show, you know the old comics.
If you don't know about this, I don't know if you've been living under a rock or something.
You've
So.
probably been living under a rock and there were no zombies there.
No, just grubs. Other places that there's zombies is in Marvel Zombies, and this is, people are pretty familiar with this. It's your favorite Marvel characters, they are all dead and they are zombies, and chaos that ensues is pretty simple. If you're looking for something spooky that has your favorite characters, Marvel Zombies is where it's at.
Yep, it's written by Robert Kirkman, so I know a lot of people like his writing, but kind of self-explanatory. The next one we have is Batman the Long Halloween, DC Comics, obviously. This centers around the early days of Batman. He's just getting up in his career, and there is a killer that is killing on holidays, and it is Halloween night. So he needs to find the murderer before his next victim is claimed. It's a very gothic murder mystery style.
That guy is ruining everybody's holidays.
And if you don't, you can guess who this person is, but this was one of the first introductions of him.
So next, Sandman, of course. If you're
course.
thinking Halloween, you want every D-titled archetype in the books. You're looking for creepy, weird, dark. That it's, Sandman is where it's at. It's one of the first comics that I read and would recommend it to anybody for a creepy Halloween evening.
And Hack Slash follows Casey Hack's mission to eradicate all slashers, like a tribute to Friday the 13th movies with themes of teen angst and unrequited love.
This one has won a lot of awards in the past, so it's well known, well acclaimed. The next series actually is something that I really enjoy. I know a number of people do, but it's close to mine because I follow a lot of it. This is 68 blank. There are a number of 68 titles, but the overall story is zombies in the Vietnam War era. While you're in Vietnam, the zombies break out. They're kind of used as pawns in the war as well. And again, the zombies are a threat, but so are the enemies. It spawned a lot of other titles, and each title is about the horror of zombies and war, with underlying currents of losing oneself to the madness of war and the situation. And it's definitely not afraid to show plenty of gore, and again, nobody's safe.
Next thing that we would recommend for you to read is anything really from the BPRD universe. It's Hellboy, Baltimore, etc. There's just a world of demons, the imagination that goes into this. I think it takes all of the cheese out of things that we've known, like familiar folklores and mythologies, and of course Hellboy, our big guy in red. It's just a great way. They balance out everything in their universe so well, and it's always so believable.
The next one is from Dark Horse Comics as well. This is Colder, and this is a very new series. I actually just read the first issue. The second issue is coming out soon, and this is a more of a psychological creep factor. It delves into the deep end of horror, love, but most of all insanity, and it's a really gorgeous look at some of the dark places in our minds.
Next is Creepshow. The film was a homage to past horror shows, so it's the comic which is penned by Stephen King.
This one is out of print. It's classic. It's out of print, but it's by Plume Old Penguin Comics, but you can still get it on places like eBay and Amazon.
Definitely worth having in your collection.
It is a classic.
And if you can't get it in your collection, at least check out the movie, because it's worth seeing as well.
Yes, it is based on the movie. Speaking of classics,
yep, you have Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven and the Red Death. It's, again, as we reviewed in our previous show, Edgar Allan Poe, you can't beat it.
You can't beat it. Quintessential.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Creepy from Dark Horse Comics. It's an anthology of some of the best horror comics, and this was saved from Warren Magazine's closure by Dark Horse Comics. It just collects a lot of these old, really the heyday of horror comics, as well as, of course, there's always Hellraiser.
Can't beat Hellraiser. It's dark, it's evil, it's sexy. There's
I love Pinhead. He's such a good guy.
And Adventure Time for the kids.
For the young readers.
Why not? Adventure Time, Spooktacular, their Halloween edition.
It's Adventure Time.
It's very
Halloween.
silly stuff. You can look up Courtney Crumrin. How am I totally...
Crumrin from
Totally
Oni
messed
Press.
that up. Average tween story. She's appalled by her parents, grumbly about going to school. She's a bit of an outcast, but keeps company with all manner of all kinds of creepy creatures, learns valuable lessons, and has plenty of mischievous mistakes.
Sounds about right.
Pretty
for a teen.
straightforward.
Next one we have is another callback to a lot of the old heyday. This is Four Color Fear, Forgotten Horror Comics of the 1950s. This is a nearly 300-page collection of the period's wonderfully terrible short stories about alien invasion, macabre murder mysteries, and all these different genres. Plenty of classic creatures like vampires, werewolves, zombies, and ghosts. It's from the 1950s, and back then the term for these images were very gruesome, very visceral, and by nowadays they're a little bit tamer
Yeah,
standards.
so much.
It's a little hokey. The stories can be a little short. They're hokey. They're kind of just thrown out there.
I enjoy it though. It really lets you see how far the genre itself has come, and it really lets you, thinking about all of the things back then that, internet, TV, and all of that stuff that they didn't have all of that stuff. This is really, picture-wise for your stories was what you were getting. So it's a really neat perspective on it, I think.
Absolutely, and it's really, they have a surprising twist, and it's very visceral, but the whole thing about, you think about it now when you're in a situation and you're like, what's going on? You can Google it, or you always have your phone near you and stuff. Back then, your imagination went wild, and sometimes some of the scariest things were things that you couldn't see. So, and that was our Halloween special. We tried to keep it brief, tried to keep it going, and give you a wide range of different genres and different readers. Things to read for Halloween. But again, as always, stay safe on Halloween and enjoy yourself.
And if you're not going out and doing anything on Halloween, pick up one of these books and have a spooky time anyway.
Sit down, watch some movies, read some comics, eat some popcorn. Have fun.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. As always, leave comments. Let us know what you think. Do you like these specials? Should we do more? And do you like our figures? It's Sandman.
I finally got to
Buy it. That's what it's here for, to be bought.
It looks very pretty, but it likes to be bought.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you very much, and we will see you next week.
Bye. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween. Spooky hands.
Spooky hands. That's going in there, too.